Yo, what's going on, guys? Blue here, coming at you with another PGA 2K21 video. Today we're going to be talking about wind. Now, I'm not going to go into an in-depth wind. I will probably make a separate in-depth wind video. But I think I'm just going to make a quick video for those that are maybe just introducing themselves to the game or trying to get used to playing with wind, not necessarily at a competitive level. And maybe some of those that are at the lower end of the competitive, just getting into the competitive scene, perhaps you don't understand how the wind affects the ball in PGA. So what you're going to do is you're going to start a local match and you're going to actually look for Wind Practice 1.0. And this is a course that allows you to practice just with straight up and down holes. You can practice with your clubs, the wind. Now, everybody's clubs react differently. This is one of the great ways to get in there and see how do my clubs react. So how do we figure out how wind affects the ball? We're going to turn wind speed on to high in game, and we're going to go into a round. Let's just make sure wind speed's on high. We'll go into the round. Go into the round. So the first thing you're going to do once you get into the round, you're actually going to change the difficulty on some of the shots. And I will explain why. Second, because you want to see and learn what the ball does for your shot. So under difficulty, you're going to take away swing timing. And you're going to want to leave it on probably amateur or beginner swing. So no swing timing, beginner swing to get you the biggest swing plane you possibly can get. And then you're going to want to turn the wind display to wind speed on. Make sure you have the wind speed on. Then you're going to back out. So now you have a scenario where if we're going to practice shot, swing timing doesn't matter. Just want to make sure you're going to get that 100-yard shot at all times. We're getting 99s here because put it on beginner, so I guess there's a limiter that's on. Let me go see if we can shut that off, or if it doesn't happen. If it doesn't exist, that's fine. Distance control meter off, so it's fine. So it's limiting our tempos or whatnot, but that's okay. There we go. So we get our 99 powers. That's fine. So basically, you can't get the swing plane. You can't get any of it wrong. And then we look here and we have a 10-mile-an-hour wind. So in general, guys, and this is a very, very, very fast rule of thumb, the wind for every mile an hour it blows in whatever direction will blow the ball a yard. That is a very, very, very basic understanding of what wind does, because it does react with different clubs differently. But if I was to take this for example, and we're looking at landing spots here, right? So if this is supposed to land at 151, and I have a 10-mile-an-hour wind at my back, to land it at the hole at 150, let's say, we want to be at 140. It is going to push 10 yards forward because it's basically in my back right now, right? So it is going to push the ball 10 yards forward. Let's, for science, do I have a club that hits 140, 142? So this club should land about 152. Take a look. I should most probably not be in a practice swing. Now it's actually going to be left to right. So the wind is completely swirled. So let's change our idea here. Now that it's left to right, if you guys don't know, each grid represents a yard. So now that it's 11 miles an hour left to right, we actually want to count 11 full grids. So we have a half a grid here. So we want to count 10 grids here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we want to count about 10 grids left to right and hit the ball. This should actually swing the ball left to right back to the pin. And again, I probably should not be on practice mode. Why am I on practice swing? Let's see what it does. Look at that. Right back at the actual half square to the pin. So, like I said, left to right, if it's directly left to right like this, it's going to move your ball 1 yard for every mile an hour that the wind is blowing. So let's see what the reaction is for a hybrid, because a hybrid is a little bit different usually. It's got a lower trajectory. I got a left to right 11 miles an hour. Let's try doing the 11 boxes to the left again. 1, 2, 11. So that's about 11 boxes to the right. Let's see how it reacts to a hybrid. Actually blew that a little bit more than it did my shot. Now, why did it blow it a little bit more? Distance. So obviously the further your shot is, the more the wind is going to affect the ball for a longer period of time. So we're working with a longer shot, therefore the wind will blow the ball left to right longer. Therefore, you probably want to give yourself an extra 1 or 2. Again, 11 miles an hour off of wood. Let's adjust. So if we know that the hybrid probably was like a 13, maybe there was like a 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's about 15 boxes left to right. Now the wind's slightly adjusting in our face here. So let's adjust it a little bit back just to account for the fact that it's not directly sideways anymore. Let's hit the ball. That because it wasn't directly sideways, we adjusted back, and the ball then. So I probably determined that when the arrow's like this at a diagonal, you're getting about half wind from what you would get left to right. So it's probably only going to be like a 6 box left. Because it's a 3 wood, you probably want to give yourself 7 boxes left. We'd counted 15, so I took about half back. That's what happened there. Go to the next one. Again, guys, this is really easy to do. You can also do this like lay up. Give yourself what happens with a pitch shot with the wind. How does it affect your 80-yard shots, your lob wedges, and stuff like that? And that's one of the things I'd like to actually do here. Is I want to lay up into one that should be about a wedge in. There you go. So now we got 10 mile an hour, but we got a wedge, right? So it's a shorter distance. 2. Okay. That's what we would normally do for probably like a 5 iron or something like that. Let's see. Oh, well, now we got. Let's wait till it goes back left to right. Okay, well, if we got about half. If we say 10, we're going to go about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 here. Let's see what happens on this pitch shot. Didn't touch it. Barely touched it. Reason being, not enough time. Probably not enough air because of the pitch shot. Didn't get up in the air enough. So didn't affect it. Let's see what it does at the back. If we're doing 76, what does the 11 miles an hour do for us? So we're landing at 79. So 11 miles an hour gave us about 3 yards out on the pitch. So you're probably getting about a quarter for pitch shots, the wind that you would normally get for the other shots. Really, really quick like that, guys. Again, the rule of thumb, hard and fast, 1 yard for every mile an hour the wind is blowing. Go to the practice range, turn off your tempo and your swing plane, make it a beginner, and see how the wind affects your clubs. And trust me, this is going to shave strokes off your game in a hurry. For those rounds that you end up playing where, you're even on default wind, sometimes you get a high wind as a default wind, and you got a, heavy blowing left to right, and you guys are always way right, always way left. You tend to fast the ball, come to this practice range, do this exercise, see what happens when you're fasting the ball. For that, you'll have to turn tempo back on, and then hit your tempos, your regular tempos for yourself, and see how the ball is affected with the wind. If it's left to right and you're fasting it into the wind, what happens to the ball. The more knowledge you gain using the practice facility and finding out what you win, finding out what the wind is going to do to your particular clubs, the better off you're going to be. And you're going to shave a whole bunch of strokes off of your game because of this. This is one of the best practices you can do, guys. Again, so, 10 miles an hour. We hit it straight. It's probably going to bring me right back into the middle. Give ourselves about 12 there. 12 to the left. Now we got a short sand wedge in. 10 miles an hour to my face. Let's see what 10 miles an hour or 11 miles an hour directly to the face does to a 115 club. Wedge, lofted way up into the air, right? We got that 100%, 115 club. Where are we going to land? So 10 miles an hour, 11 miles an hour actually stop the ball dead on in the face 15 yards. So you're actually getting a little bit more than the 1 mile per hour because you're at a wedge, because you're lofting it so far into the sky, into the air. You're giving so much hang time to it, even on a shorter shot. The 11 miles an hour affects the club way more. We have to give ourselves 15. So now we know that for the next time, if we're in that position, the next time we're in that position and we're hitting a pitching wedge, we probably want to de-loft it a little bit. This will tell you where the de-loft is. So if we're at 115 and we know it's going to take about 15 yards, we want to be about 120 on the de-loft and hit it. See where that puts us. So there you have it. Practice this wind. Make sure you understand what the ball is going to do on your particular clubs. Everybody's clubs have different lofts, what have you. Utilize this course. Great little course that was designed. And put the wind up to high. Either play with the tempo or without the tempo, but make sure that you're giving yourselves the best opportunity to understand how wind is going to affect the ball, and you're going to score a lot lower. Until next time, guys, make sure you follow, you subscribe. We hit 100 subscribers plus, and now you can use youtube.com/gamercallblue. That's so cool for 1 month of doing this stuff. I really, really appreciate that, man, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm Blue. Peace.